Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to another Titanovix Deck Tech video. Today I was just gonna, maybe ask a question. Where are you all from? Like, I'm just curious, whoever's out there, just, where you living, man? Where are you at? I kind of mentioned this too because, I am from Las Vegas, and I'm very lucky to have a really nice local game store that's, very close to my work. I can go there, maybe after a tough day, and kind of just go to a place where I know I can just kind of relax, kind of unwind for a couple hours, talk to some other people that, share a hobby of mine and just relax, man, maybe spend some money. And it's going to like, a nice place, a nice place that, you know, uh, really has a passion for this stuff, and they believe in it. So that's this place here, Commander Games. They're just a really nice company, and they're just very fair. I've always had a good time, and they're just so well, I guess you'd say, organized. They have a wide variety of bulk rares that are just kind of in boxes. Then they have like binder rares and mythics and lands. They organize things by color there, and then they have their glass rares and mythics, of course, and like the higher end things. So overall, just a very nice company. So I encourage you, like, whenever you're in the Valley in Las Vegas, just go ahead and check them out. The number is here, right there in the front. And then additionally, there is their kind of address and phone number there. I think what they're really getting, they have a lot of good, like, expensive Pokemon stuff, definitely. And I think they're getting into like Lorcana. It seems like they're kind of gearing up. It seems people really enjoy that game a lot, and the people are kind of investing into it. So maybe that's also just in terms of like speculation. Maybe we should all be buying some boxes of that, and maybe just kind of put them in our closets for a while, and just maybe coming back, because it's kind of an early set. It's kind of has an early. I think they're on like there's the second expansion of it from the original set. So that's kind of interesting. So in general, so there it is. They're on Jones Boulevard. That is also in Desert Inn as well. That's where the intersection is. So it's kind of, I'd say, probably about like a 10-minute drive from the Strip, like up Desert Inn. And Desert Inn is a really nice street. Kind of just slots right into Jones. So, and then you're really close to Chinatown too. It runs adjacent to Desert Inn. So you can actually just go to Chinatown and get some really awesome ramen while you're down there. It's just in a very nice spot, a really happening area. So there it is. That is a cool place, and Gary's a nice guy, and he'll take care of you. He's the owner of that store. So additionally, what else we got going on? So we went and we picked up some cards. We did. So let's get a look at them. And this is the cards that we got. We are building our Aragorn the Uniter deck, so that's our guy, and we are going to be building an Aragorn Burn deck. So I've already made a video on this before, and it's a very exciting kind of concept with Aragorn. So whenever you cast a red spell with Aragorn the Uniter deals 3 damage to a target opponent. So essentially, it's gonna marry a lot of like burn strategies with kind of like a really like suffocating mid-range style, where I'm like gonna play cards like Sunfall and Farewell, and really gonna just be taking advantage of that kind of pinging, like, and kind of getting to that, wearing down the opponent. So that's kind of the objective of this particular deck. So we're gonna have access to all the really nice colors, and let's just get into it. Let's see what kind of cards we got from the store. Really, I'm kind of focused on our Brawl list because we like a lot of the components of the Brawl list. We like that, we have, like, just from this top card here, we have the Swan Song, which is just a very nice 1-mana blue interaction. And it's gonna go ahead and kind of preserve our board state, or preserve whatever we're going on, maybe counter a spell that is going to maybe cause us some trouble. And it's all for that low cost of blue. It's just 1 blue. The opponent gets a 2/2 in the interaction. So I think it's a very strong counterspell. It just hits a lot of things, you know, hits the enchantments, instants, or sorcery spells. So just a very solid card in general, right? Can't counter planeswalkers though, or creatures. So that's kind of the trade-off there, right? Additionally, what also I loved about Commander games is you can get some really cool, like, older cards there, you know, vintage stuff. So that was really nice as well. So I love just like getting like these cards from like the dark. That's what really roped me in. I think the first time I went there, I was like, these cool old cards, you know, that are rare, right? And, you know, but, you know, they just fit into your decks, and it's kind of gives you that like kind of history in your deck too. So it's kind of very, very nice. So this is from the dark. It's a nice Fellow Stone that we'll definitely be playing in the deck, because we'll be playing a Soul Ring, so we're going to want to give ourselves a chance for those really hot starts, right? Oh, this is just a pickup for my Brokos deck. I felt like I've been like tearing that thing apart for ages, and it's really sad. Like, I really want to come back to it and like rebuild it and make it like better, like really take advantage of like the graveyard and such. So I definitely think like a Crucible of Worlds will be really good for my landfall deck there, of course. This one's a nice, you know, kind of interesting card for the Aragorn Burn deck. Like I mentioned, we're going to be playing cards like Sunfall and Farewell, and this is a card that can get around those 2 spells. So Contorius is, I think it's kind of just been sleeping. This card is absolutely devastating, like in a Brawl format, because you can play Planeswalkers in that Brawl format. This thing in the command zone is just devastating. It's actually really frustrating to play against, especially in a deck that, you know, really wants to like access that kind of exile and you know, kind of give that ping. It's really quite annoying, to be honest. So we will have definitely some exile synergy here. I was thinking I really am considering the questing beast as well now. So you know, because it's basically like what would you say, like a reckless impulse on a creature stick. So that card's actually really insane, huh? So I'm also probably gonna look into getting that card as well. So yeah, that will be excellent. So Quintorius Con is that 5-mana Planeswalker, 3 colorless, red and white. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, Quintorius Con deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. Sweet. Create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token, 3/2 red and white spirit creature token for the +1, and then the -3 is the discover 4. And let's read the ultimate. Exile any number of target cards from your graveyard. Add a red for each of these cards. Exile this way, you may play those cards this turn. So not too bad. I think we'll probably be utilizing it for maybe its discover. The discover is nice, and also that kind of passive ability seems pretty cool too. So we like that. All right, fantastic. We picked up a Ragavan. I think it's lower in price. I mean, I think I got a pretty decent deal. I mean, this just kind of slots into any red deck, I think. Just so it's so solid. What a solid card, and kind of gives you that kind of interesting mana kind of dork, right? If you can play it early and start, you know, getting ahead with it, it's just a very interesting card overall. So yeah, there's Ragavan. Additionally, here is Urabrask, and we will definitely be playing some cards that kind of help us storm out. I think in the Brawl version I was playing Crash Through. There's cards similar to that too, that they maybe perform even better in a, you know, from the vintage, like from just Magic's history. There's some other kind of 1-mana spells that will help you draw a card, and maybe the effect that it provides is like a little better than maybe just giving trample to your creatures. So I think there is one that actually like will ping an opponent for 1 damage and draw you a card. So that's a really interesting one for us, right? I don't really recall the card, but what I'll do is like any cards that I'm kind of, you know, the cards that I have for this deck, I'll start probably compiling into a list. I'll still just keep probably the Brawl list and kind of maybe update in the comments kind of the deck, the cards that I'm acquiring for the EDH version, and I'll kind of post those like kind of over time to see like how the deck is kind of shaping up. Now, of course, I always encourage you all to give me some recommendations and suggestions, because I always like that, and I always like the kind of interaction too. I'm always ready to interact with all of you. Here's the Seasoned Pyromancer. I do think this is just gasoline for us. It just seems like putting cards into our graveyard, it seems like a good deal. And also, like, if we're on an empty tank, we can play the Seasoned Pyro and just, you know, draw some fresh cards. So I feel it's just like, I just like the 1/1 elemental creature tokens. They're red too, so we have some synergy there too with like our mechanized warfare and such, where they're just going to be like hitting a little harder. Everything will be hitting a little bit harder. So I like this card. I like it a lot. Got a pretty good deal on this one too. It's like $17, so that wasn't so bad. And then really what we did for I think most of the rest of these cards, there's going to be some, you know, niche cards that I kind of read through and went through there with, you know, some of the OG players that were there, they call themselves. And you'll see, we have a couple OG cards in here, but we definitely worked on our mana base. So we picked up like all the shock lands. That was just like a really nice investment, right? So, you know, all these shock lands are just, of course, very good for our 4-color deck. So, of course, to go along with that would be the fetch lands. So we just picked up, Gary just hooked us up with all the shocks. He had no limit to supply with that. It was just very fantastic. I have everything I needed. So it was just very seamless for me to get everything here. Here is the breeding pool here. So yeah, definitely a player's card store. No doubt, just nerds. Very, very nerdy, very into Magic, and that's exactly where I want to be. So here's the steam vents there. Perfect. So we're basically represented with our shock lands, and then into our fetches too, which are all here as well. So just a very nice kind of pickup here for us, just to kind of get our mana base solid. You know, I don't have like $1 million to spend, but you know, I will invest in my lands and to make sure I have a decent mana base when I do play these cards and these decks. And it does get pricey because I am building like 2 decks of the same commander, but I do like the seamlessness of it. Like swapping cards, I'll do that to an extent. Like with, like, for instance, I have a Mox Opal, and that card is like, I think, $80, and have like a, you know, Jeweled Lotus and an Ancient Tomb. I'll swap those cards out, but this is fine. You know, these are you know, pretty affordable right now. So there's the fetch lands. That's perfect. This was a cool suggestion, just kind of going through the book, and I think I love it. I think it's just kind of an interesting, you know, there's an idea of playing like Experimental Frenzy, maybe even a Reality Chip. I don't think I have enough creatures to play Reality Chip, unfortunately, but I really love Reality Chip. This card's kind of marries those a little bit. What I like about this, it could be a good follow-up to, like, you know, something that clears the board, whatever that is, whether we're doing it or another opponent is doing it. I do like Melik, the Izzet Paragon. I like that, you know, the top card is kind of, we have access to that. We're going to be playing a lot of instant and sorcery spells, so that's okay as well. So, you know, we'll probably have a good chance of, you know, continuing playing that gas off the top of our deck. And also this very interesting part here, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from the top of your library, you can copy it, and then you may choose new targets for the copy. So that one's really awesome. I think that'll be very cool to try. Additionally, here is the Wooded Foothills. This is another fetch land that was just got kind of snuck in there. And just going through the binder, just looking through all this stuff, it's like, well, what else, you know, what kind of, you know, helps, like, the ping, right? And Fireball seems like an interesting choice. I mean, I don't foresee myself playing this for 0. I mean, it's possible I could, you know, play it for 0. And with the abundance of, like, cards that benefit, like even Aragorn itself, casting a red spell, you know, does the damage. all the cards. I think there's, like I think it's called the Firebrand. It's basically the creatures. They're like 2-mana creatures, and you cast either a non-creature or an instant sorcery, and they deal damage to each opponent. That will benefit. Fiery Inscription, that will benefit from this as well. Fireball is an interesting one too. It's going to work well with like the Ogier Takik. I think that's how you pronounce it from my memory. That card will, if you do like non-combat damage to a target, it will actually deal damage equal to its power to that target. So it's a 4/4 initially. So it is an interesting interaction with Aragorn. You could buff up that card, the Ogier, to like, an 8/8 with if you played a green spell for a turn, for instance, and then maybe play like a Fireball, for 1, and then maybe target 3 opponents. So, basically then you would be looking at, I believe, 5 mana cost spell, and you're doing like, 8 to each target. So that's a pretty good rate, and then plus the 3 Aragorn Burn. So that's a cool interaction, and that's pretty much on the cheap. So yeah, we're going to be getting pretty nasty with this deck. It might be hard to keep track of to an extent, like with the Mizzet's Mastery, but it should be fun. I'm not foreseeing too much of an issue with it, but I think some of these cards are kind of going to be kind of nice with each other. So Fireball, very cool old card, and very interesting how you're paying 1 extra mana for each target beyond the first. It's very, very interesting. So, very cool card. Here is Grape Shot as well. I think it's fine. I'm going to be playing cards like Manamorphose, and we're going to be playing a lot of cards that kind of like help keep the gasoline rolling. I think the Questing Druid seems like a very, very good option as well. So I'll have to definitely keep that in the back of my mind. Make sure I keep that card going. I don't think it's pretty popular, so yeah, I'll definitely be picking one of those up, trying it out. And then additionally, here's See the Truth. This is kind of a nice Cobra Go Blue one, right? This is the one he played recently in his Narset, the Enlightened Exile deck. And it's a nice one. And we're going to be playing like Lelia. We're going to be playing Reckless Impulse and, Ren's Resolve, and now Questing Druid. So See the Truth should be pretty decent. We should be able to get cards into our exile zone, and or from the graveyard. We'll have some of that synergy as well. So yes, very nice, huh? I think so. See the Truth seems decent. So look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of those cards into your hand, the rest on your bottom of your library. If this spell is cast from your anywhere other than your hand, put each of those cards into your hand instead. So it's just a draw 3. Nice. Very cool. So that's the video, man. We picked up all the sweet cards, So we are still acquiring our mana base here, but these are some of the cards, and like I said, I'm not going to try to break the bank. So if I have to play some pathways here in like a 4-color deck, I'm not going to like be so sad. I'm not going to be like killing myself to make sure that I have like all the commander lands and such. So City of Brass, all the other cards that kind of Mana Confluence, the expensive ones that I already have some in my collection, right? And I think I was saying that I was gonna thinking about Beast Within over Chaos Warp, but this is probably a Chaos Warp deck. The red card kind of triggers Aragorn and just gives us probably that extra value that we're looking for the burn. It might take the deck just slightly over the top. So just like kind of, these are the cards that we discussed last time. So also Gamble, definitely considering that one as well, because it's we're going to be fine with cards going into our graveyard and having like a red Mana Tutor once again. This will also increase that burn that we're going to be having access to. So it's pretty much an easy choice. We will have some, I am getting the Ascent to Avernus, and I'll make another video. I am acquiring some other cards too. So it's just kind of like a process, but once I get those ones as well. So this one will probably be out for the Swan Song. Here's the Expressive Iteration, Prismari Command. Yeah, these are just all really cool. Very cool concept deck here. You know, giving the four colors, very interesting, right? Here's a Naya Charm. Yeah, there's some, definitely it's always a process. You know, I could see like not playing this card really. But this one seems interesting for Burn. I mean, I don't think it's really the greatest card, to be honest. Like, I think it's like kind of a halfway card, but kind of interesting for our deck. I don't know if this pays off here, you're just living in Cloud 9. If you can play that lane card from your hand onto the battlefield, yeah, it's just like that. It becomes like just, right? They really think you need that mode to go, though. You know, it really needs to happen. I think this was a little too expensive. I was hoping this one colorless was removed from it for the Song of Creation. You know, like that. That'd be kind of nice, but it is 4. It's kind of nasty. Kind of a nasty card. You know, it seems pretty good too, but maybe too expensive. Maybe I like this one though, just that it can draw cards. Well, when I thought we're gonna have some treasure synergy, Fable the Mirrorbreaker, Ragavan, and Descend into Avernus, I think will be a cool card. Smothering Tithe. You know, am I gonna play this or Descent of Avernus? Like, could I play both? I don't know. We'll see, man. I don't know. Beast Within. Yeah, it's like kind of like just picking one or the other, you know. If I probably play Descent of Avernus, I probably won't play Smothering Tithe, but having all that mana might be important, so it's kind of hard to say. And it really probably best from playing it out and seeing how it goes. Yeah, so this deck is shaping up definitely. We'll see how it goes. I mean, there's so many good cards. There's always so many good cards to play. So, I mean, this is kind of an interesting flashback card that kind of you want to keep getting value to keep pinging. So overall, still looking for some cards here, but that's kind of the update, everybody. So have a great day, and I'm also going to be sleeving them up in here, so that's going to be nice, a nice little burn action. So have a great day, everybody. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.